Here we go.
There's no title bigger than this.
It is great to be back.
Welcome to the Worlds.
Wow.
Just superb.
Grit and determination.
Does her. Gets it done.
What darting entertainment this is.
Brilliant, brilliant finishing.
And he saves his skin.
Pummeling the trebles again. Oh, he's in again.
There it is.
Nathan Aspell's fired up.
Composure and skill.
Oh, magnificent from Van Gerwen.
He's up there to prove a point.
And this time, Peter gets it right. It's all right on the night at the Alexandra Palace.
Hello and welcome to Alexandra Palace. It is day 11 of the William Hill World Darts Championship and this is On The Wire. I'm Dan Dawson, that is Chris Murphy, that is a telly, and there's a very stressed man with a large forehead desperately trying to operate some buttons behind it for us. Murph, day 11 of the tournament, we are seeing some big names by necessity knocked out because some of the seeds are going head to head. Let's show you what happened last night. Because it all started off with the world number 16, the world number 17 going at it, and he went all the way to a last leg decider. But perhaps, well, right up there with a shot of the tournament for Joe Cullen to win this game.
Yeah, it had been a cagey last leg decider up until that point, but the 100th finish that Joe Cullen took out, the two double tops, as soon as that first start went in high in the double top bed, it looked very, very inviting. And I think that just gave Joe Cullen the confidence to get it done, and very, very significant for him to get a good run here at Ali Pali.
Yeah, first time ever he's made it through to the last 16 of the William Hill World Championship. Look at that, Clayton sat on tops, but Cullen pins it twice to win it. And look at the celebration. Not a lot of shouting and roaring in this game, two very good mates, but absolutely stunning stuff to start the night.
The reaction from Clayton, every bit as classy as the finish from Cullen there.
He's a classy ferret, what can I say? Gabriel Clemens is a classy darts player, but the defending champion is out. Peter Snakebite Wright will not retain the Sid Waddell trophy. And I'll be honest, I thought he was fighting his way back into it. He took the penultimate set 3-0 and Gabriel Clemens held his nerve. Very nearly won it here.
Yeah, it was a decent performance actually from Peter Wright in terms of the stats. But Gabriel Clemens did the right things at the right time, I suppose, to use that overused adage in darts, but it was right. And Clemens, very, very impressive. I know that you've been a big fan of his for years. I wasn't quite sure I could see him producing a shock on that scale really, but he certainly proved he's up to it. And Peter Wright, weirdly, having performed around the 100 average, his demeanour just seemed a little bit flat throughout that match.
It was very on and off from him, wasn't it? Sometimes he looked like the world champion, sometimes he looked very much second best, and in the end he's come off second best against Gabriel Clemens, who this man, Chris Murphy, said would not produce the shock last night. But hey, look, I did, so that's what counts.
I gave him a chance.
You did? Did you give him a chance?
I said he's got a chance, but
right.
I don't think he'll take it.
Right, okay.
I don't think he'll do it, but I didn't give Ricky Evans a chance against Michael Van Gerwen.
You didn't give Ricky Evans a chance, and I tell you what, as 4-0 defeats go, this was a pretty good one from Rapid Ricky. He's averaged over a ton, hit 50% of your doubles. Now, if you average 100 and hit 50% of your doubles, you win a lot of games, don't you?
Yeah, but not when Michael Van Gerwen is in beast mode, and he has backed up that first round, a similar type of average around that 100, between 106 and 108 so far in the tournament. Ricky Evans gave himself every chance, but Michael Van Gerwen didn't. That's the long and short of the story, really.
Yeah, so for the second consecutive year, Ricky Evans gets done 4-0 by the world number one at this stage of the tournament, despite playing pretty well. But I have to say, it was around about in the middle of that game that I was convinced that Michael Van Gerwen is back to his best, because I wasn't convinced up until that point.
Yeah, a word as well for the match referee George Noble for the way he officiated that match. So fast it was. Michael Van Gerwen actually said it was too fast. He said he was feeling a little bit dizzy after the first set and actually had to slow himself down a little bit by a fraction, but he dealt with it well. George Noble dealt with it well, and very, very impressive from Ricky Evans. Let's hope we can see more of that on a more frequent basis from him.
Yeah, look, I mean, if he'd been playing anybody else, then Ricky Evans would have stood a very good chance of coming through that one. So that was last night, and to kind of continue a theme, this afternoon we saw that a big average does not necessarily mean you're going to win a set, because Jose de Sousa averaged 103, more than Mervyn King, and Merv just blasted him off the board.
Yeah, play well, get beat 4-0 seems to be a trend, and it's a trend that's going to continue here as well. But very, very impressive from Mervyn King. I think the perfect opponent for him, really, in Jose de Sousa, who, yes, it can be a little bit dramatic. He had a a bullseye. Well, he should have been going for a bullseye,
Yeah.
went for a double top. His counting can be dramatic, but there's no frills in the way he plays the game. And Mervyn King managed to produce a very business-like performance. Wonderful stuff. He looks really, really good.
He does look really, really good, but then so does this man, Dirk van Dijvenbode. Genuinely, it was exhilarating watching him against Adam Hunt, who played very well himself and got ironed out 4-0. Every big moment, Dirk stepped up. 170 check out, 120 to win a set, 114 to win a set, over and over again. It's not a fluke.
You mentioned those moments. They were when Adam Hunt was on a finish, had just missed the 170 himself when he took out the 120. 9 180s for Adam Hunt, didn't get a set. I'm becoming more and more converted to the Church of Dirk van Dijvenbode. I know that you've been a convert for a long time, but very, very impressive stuff. I think he's going to go quarters, maybe even semis here.
Hey, look, we'll all be praying at the altar of the aubergine soon enough. However, we will not see Nathan Aspinall, the world number 6, make it 3 consecutive semi-finals at the World Championship, because Vincent van der Voort started amazingly, saw Nathan come back, and then it was all sort of scrappy and flat and messy, but he got the job done.
Yeah, interesting. He was flying out of the blocks, 115 average, I think, in that first set, won the first 6 legs without reply. And then when Aspinall comes back into it, you start to think that Vincent might kind of crumble. Aspinall didn't really manage to raise his game any more than that. Dirk, Michael and Vincent spent Christmas Day together in a hotel room in London. I just want to know what Michael van Gerwen put in those stakes, because the 3 of them have been fantastic. And did Mervyn King nip round as well?
Well, I don't know, but I mean, that was an absolutely stunning set of displays for the Dutch players. I mean, I remember a couple of years ago, there was a lot of hand-wringing by fans in the Netherlands going, oh, I know we've got Michael van Gerwen, but what else have we got? Well, right now, you've got Dirk van Dijvenbode, who's a rising star, Vincent van der Voort, who's on the verge of a 3rd World Championship quarter-final now, and a whole sort of host of other players who are jockeying around the sort of top 20, top 30. I think it's looking pretty good for the Dutch, isn't it?
Yeah, really is. Vincent van der Voort has been around for a long time, but in the last 16, I think for the first time in 5 years, seems to be playing as good as he's ever played. MVG, though, leading the way. He's certainly back, and I can't really see anybody raising their game to his level. Maybe there's 1 or 2 players tonight who might change my mind.
Interesting. Well, look, let's have a look who we've got on the way tonight, because we start with the 2-time winner, Gary Anderson, the Flying Scotsman, against Mensur Suljovic. For me, I thought Mensur was more convincing than Gary in their opening matches, but he is a guy who can play himself into form over the course of the tournament, sort of the World Match Play.
Yeah, I would agree with that, although I don't think Gary Anderson likes playing Mensur Suljovic very much, and Mensur will be well aware of that, and I kind of think he'll come through this one. I think would it be a shock now? Gary's down to, I think, 20th in the world in the in-running order of merit, and he's not speaking with great levels of confidence about this event. So I think that Mensur might get the job done, and it would be the first time that he's ever got past this stage.
Interesting. A repeat, of course, of their World Match Play final a couple of years ago, the longest game ever played at that tournament. Gerwen Price versus Brendan Dolan. Now, Price has a lot of improving to do. He's seen one of his main rivals go out in Peter Wright. He's seen another of his main rivals, Michael van Gerwen, in, as you say, beast mode. He needs to up it against Brendan if he's going to prove that he's a real threat, doesn't he?
He does. I don't really see Brendan causing too many problems for Gerwen. He's a player, I mean, you coined the term Dolanized, and he's a player that can do that to players, slow them down a little bit, although he was playing quicker in his first match, and that's something he's been working on. Now, if he continues to do that, might work against him here tonight, so it'll be interesting to see the pace of play from Brendan Dolan. I think that Gerwen Price gets through it, and then I would be delighted to sit down, have a cup of tea and watch him play Mervyn King in the next round.
That would be very, very watchable. The evening will end with Danny Baggish, the American, taking on Glenn Durrant. Now, he's already taken out a 2-time world champion in Adrian Lewis, having already taken out the unseeded Damon Heta, but one of the highest rated unseeded players in this year's World Championship. Can he take out the reigning Premier League champion and a 3-time Lakeside World title winner?
He can. I'm really torn on this match because Glenn Durrant has done nothing in the last few months to suggest that he's going to have a good run at this tournament. Now, it's not a criticism of Glenn because he's struggled since he had the problems with coronavirus. He's not a player who has just tested positive and didn't have any symptoms. He actually was affected physically by this virus and has not really managed to rediscover his form since then. He's also spoken mentally about playing badly for this period of time. Is the first time it's really happened in his career. I think he's under a lot of pressure. Baggish he's inexperienced, and if he can treat it as kind of a happy-go-lucky match that he has in the previous ones, he could come through it. But I think whoever wins this one is condemned to defeat at the hands of Dirk van Dijvenbode in the next round.
Interesting, very interesting. Well, look, that's our menu for tonight. Not only do we have the number 1 from Austria, we've got one of the top players from North America, and the number 2 from Northern Ireland, but they go up against 2 multiple world champions and a man who many people think could become the first Welsh world champion here at Alexandra Palace on January 3rd. That's your menu. Enjoy tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.